Dr. Vexonal paused his lecture on comparative planetary classification as he noticed the disturbed chittering coming from the back of his xenogeology classroom. The Kepler Institute's most diverse student body, representing 12 different species from across the galaxy, had been assigned a seemingly routine project: create a habitability assessment for the third planet in the Sol system. "Is there a problem with your analysis, students?" the professor inquired, his mandibles clicking with mild concern. Rithera, a proximate exchange student whose feathered crest had been steadily darkening throughout the semester, raised a trembling appendage. "Professor, we believe our geological scanners are malfunctioning. The tectonic readings for Earth are impossible." "Impossible how?" Dr. Vexonal moved toward the student workstation, where holographic data streams painted a three-dimensional model of Earth's interior structure. "The planet's core is molten iron spinning at tremendous velocities," explained Queltic, whose typically steady Andromedian voice wavered with uncertainty. "This generates a magnetic field so powerful it deflects stellar radiation across the entire planetary surface. But that's not the disturbing part." The professor examined their readings more closely. Standard protocol taught that magnetic fields of such intensity indicated a world in constant geological upheaval, unsuitable for complex life development. "Show me the surface analysis," he commanded. HFY, a methodical researcher from the Veil Nebula colonies, manipulated the hologram to display crustal composition data. "Professor, the planetary surface consists of massive plates floating on molten rock. These plates move continuously, grinding against each other with forces that—" The student paused, recalculating. "Forces that regularly release energy equivalent to stellar bombardments. And humans live through this?" Dr. Vexonal asked, though he already knew the answer. "They've built their entire civilization around it," Rithera replied, her voice hollow with disbelief. "We found records of something called the Ring of Fire, a zone where tectonic activity creates mountains by forcing crustal material upward through pure geological violence. Humans established major population centers there." The class fell silent as the implications settled. Most spacefaring species had evolved on geologically stable worlds where tectonic activity occurred over million-year cycles, if at all. "Perhaps," suggested Dr. Vexonal hopefully, "their atmospheric conditions provide some compensating factor?" Queltic's chromatic patches shifted to deep purple, the Andromedian equivalent of existential dread. "Professor, their atmosphere is 21% oxygen. At those concentrations, any spark creates explosive combustion. Their entire planet is essentially a fuel-air mixture waiting to ignite." "But surely they've adapted to avoid fire-based incidents?" "They use controlled combustion as their primary energy source," HFY reported flatly. "They've weaponized atmospheric ignition for transportation, manufacturing, even recreational activities they call camping." Dr. Vexonal felt his exoskeleton beginning to perspire, a stress response he hadn't experienced since his graduate studies. "What about their solar radiation exposure?" The students exchanged what could only be described as meaningful looks of shared trauma. "Their star emits radiation across the entire electromagnetic spectrum," Rithera explained. "Ultraviolet frequencies that would sterilize most worlds. But Earth's inhabitants have evolved to convert these deadly energy waves into chemical synthesis. They call it photosynthesis and consider it normal. Not just normal," Queltic added with growing horror. "Essential. Their entire ecosystem depends on processing lethal radiation as a primary energy source." Professor Vexonal accessed his personal database of classified planetary assessments. Earth's official designation appeared. "Class XI Extreme Environment World Unsuitable for Colonization by 97.3% of known species." "Professor," HFY said quietly, "we've been analyzing human physiological data alongside these environmental factors. Their bone density, muscle fiber composition, neural processing speeds, they're not just adapted to survive on a death world. The student paused, mandibles clicking nervously. They're optimized for it. Every human is essentially a walking biological weapon system designed by evolutionary pressure to thrive in conditions that would kill us within hours. Dr. Bexonal dismissed class early that day. He needed time to process why the galaxy's most diplomatically successful species had been forged in an environment that could only be described as a planetary-scale survival crucible.